Testing 1 2. This is the Farmacy Network official first live stream. The image you're looking at right now is a dead honeybee sitting on the microscope slide. I believe we're looking at that under a 10x reticle at the moment. Let me just go and make sure my stream is working here. Live streaming. It appears like it's happening. Yes, we are live. One watching now. Right, I believe everything is working okay. Let me check my audio here. Looks like everything is working. I get that heater noise off. I apologize. Right, I believe everything is working okay. Let me check my audio here. Looks like everything is working. I get that heater noise off. I apologize. Right, I believe everything is working okay. Let me check my audio here. Looks like everything is working.
Bring the backlight up a little bit.
That heater noise off. I apologize.
Uh-oh. What happened? Okay. I think I'm having buffering issues. So I don't really need that to work. Okay. So, hey, Geeky Gardens. Welcome. And yeah, I'm glad it looks live to you. It is in fact live. Looking at a honeybee, a dead honeybee that was taken out from the hive, one of the hives, under a microscope under a 10x reticle at the moment. Mostly just testing this out. And I'm really glad you joined me here, Geeky Gardens. Thanks for jumping in. Is there anything you want to talk about specifically today, or anything you have questions about or answers for? Anything like that? Let me see if I can move this honeybee into a better spot. I think I'm going to drop this backlighting. Yeah. Amazing how furry they look up close. Tweak this focus a bit. Work our way up the torso here and get kind of positioned over. I think that's more of the head there. Yeah, I'll shift this light around a little better maybe. And once the camera adjusts and I get the focus tweaked a little better, maybe we'll get a better image. I'm not super experienced in the microscope yet here. Circuit board layout. Oh, Learning Eagle. Oh, very nice. ASAP Fishing. Hello. Celtic Bear. How's it going? I'm good. Thank you guys for joining the live stream. Fantastic. Glad you jumped in. Um, just so you guys know, I do have a webcam on the way. Should be here Wednesday this coming week. So you'll actually be able to see me on live streams and have a little better video quality and that sort of thing. Mama Tried Homestead, hello, welcome. Yeah, awesome. Geeky Gardens, you're learning Eagle, huh? I tentatively looked at that and then said, that's a whole nother learning curve for me and I don't have time right now. What are you designing a circuit board for? Let's see, I think I better watch the output of this image. I'm not super experienced in Microscope yet. There we go. Circuit board layout. Oh, learning Eagle. Oh, very nice. ASAP Fishing. Hello. Celtic Bear. How's it going? I'm good. Thank you guys for joining the live stream. Fantastic. Glad you jumped in. Just so you guys know, I do have a webcam on the way. Should be here Wednesday this coming week. So you'll actually be able to see me on live streams and have a little better video quality and that sort of thing. Mama Tried Homestead, hello, welcome. So anyway,
awesome.
Geeky
Sorry
Gardens,
for the dead spots in audio
here. I'm just double checking to make sure my stream is actually going and everything seems to be working. It does seem to be working, so that's good. How is everyone tonight? Thanks for joining the channel. I appreciate it. How are you making out with learning Eagle, Geeky Gardens? Okay, Celtic Bear, no problem. I understand internet problems. Thanks for jumping in. I appreciate it. Hope you work out your internet issues. Well, so I guess I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but this is really kind of my first official live stream. I did do sort of a test last night. I had dug out this 4000X digital microscope that I had, and I've been planning to get it out for 4 or 5 years now. I bought it new a while back and planned to do all sorts of biology research, and hadn't had a chance to get around to actually playing with it. And I'm actually moving from one building to another on the property here, and I've been cleaning, and I sort of rediscovered it and said, I got to get that out and hook it up and at least see if it still works. And I hooked it up, and then I realized I could probably live stream direct with it, and I thought that would be an excellent tool for everyone to learn with. So very exciting to be able to do that. We're going to go into soil biology and microbes and insects and all that kind of stuff in depth over the summer and learn together, because I know a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff I don't know too. So awesome. Very steep learning curve. I'm helping a legally blind friend with the sonar system, currently using SR04 sonar sensor and a vibrating buzzer. Awesome. I haven't experimented with sonar, but that's on my list. I actually want to build small farm bots for small organic farming systems, kind of like the big equipment they're using on the massive farms that like John Deere and some of the others do with GPS controls and automation. But I want to do it on a smaller scale to help keep small-scale organic farms competitive labor-wise. So the sonar sensor will be an integral part of that system. So that's something I have to learn. ASAP Fishing, I didn't realize you were in Georgia. Georgia's nice, boy. I bet it's nice and warm down there. It is not warm up here. We're sitting at about 18 degrees out at the moment, and it's supposed to go down to 8 or 12 or something like that tonight. It's been down to 8 pretty much every night this week. Oh, you're getting echo. I might very well. have another window that needs to be muted. Let me take a look at that. Thanks to the feedback. Maybe I have two mics engaged. Let me play with my mics here. Let's see if that fixed it any. Is that any better? Also, I don't have my audio coming back to my headphones, so let me straighten that out. C-Stream USB. I don't know. Is this, are we still getting an echo? Oh boy. And of course I have a bandwidth problem. Yeah, I gotta do something about increasing my internet speed. Echo. I'm not sure why I'm getting echo. These, I get that sometimes when I do a regular recording to make a video. I get echo. And I'll go back and go to edit the video, and the whole recording's echo, and I have to go back and wipe the video and start fresh, and it's really frustrating. I use these C-Stream USB microphone earphone set. Echo is gone. Good, good. Our Arduino can run two SR04s easily. Oh, okay. That's another one I haven't played with that is on my list is Arduino. Everything I've done so far is using Raspberry Pi, but I actually want to use the Arduino to run all the controls, basically direct hardware on the controls, and then use the serial programmable interface to grab data from the Arduino and feed it back to the Pi for database logging, and basically let the Pi manage over the Arduino, so there isn't an operating system in the middle of any of the hardware control stuff. I'm sure you have a good understanding of that, Geeky Garden. Sounds like you're very into electronics as well, so that's awesome. And thank you for the feedback. I'm glad the echo's going. That's really annoying. So let me see here. Let's see. So you're doing. What are you doing with this again? Helping with a legally blind friend with the sonar system. Now is that so he can navigate around without bumping into things, or sense distance from things, or is there some more complex purpose eventually with that? Let's go take a look at the head of this honeybee. There you go. That's an eye right there. That's the eye that's sticking up. And there's another one down below on the bottom. If I can pan you to it. Well, you can see the leg dangling there. Wow. Amazing. I can't even see that in person, that's actually dangling like that, but you sure can see it on the scope, huh? Retired programmer by trade. Ah, okay. Very cool, very cool. So, is any of the Raspberry Pi stuff partially part of what drew you to my channel, or is it more on the gardening theme, just out of curiosity? And while I'm waiting for that answer, hey, ASAP Fishing, what are temperatures like in Georgia right now? Is it warmer down there? Tell me you guys have some nice warm weather. Mighty Mo Excavating, good afternoon. Welcome to the live stream. Image you're looking at, well, I don't know, is that still showing? Yeah. The image you're looking at is it's a honeybee. Who I thought was dead, and apparently so did the bees in the hive, but that leg isn't dangling. He's actually starting to move. He's waking up in where it's warm. That's interesting. So I guess we'll watch a honeybee come back to life. Imagine waking up on a microscope slide in a giant ship. How freaky that would be. He's been beamed up. Replacement for the cane, okay. But he wants to put one on his bicycle. Oh, that would be cool. What about something like LiDAR? Like a laser radar. So you could ping distances. Boy, I'll bet you what, with all the technology that's available now, or even infrared maybe. I know I used to work for a surveyor engineer, and we used something called a geodometer 600, and then later on we went to the Trimble 5600, and the 5600 had direct reflex. I can't remember. I don't think that was sonar. I think that was infrared, but it would shoot up to like 600 feet infrared, and it could ping distances pretty precise. I think it was within 0.02 feet or so. But that's a really cool project. Hey, thanks, Mighty Mo. Thanks. I was telling other people in the channel here. I actually have a regular webcam on the way. It'll be here this coming week, and then be able to actually see me in the live stream. I apologize for any lack of video or poor video performance in the meantime. Started out with gardening, then found the tech, and I was hooked. Yeah, haven't done any art pilot. I'd probably get into that at some point. Yeah, I go back and forth. I have a huge passion for gardening, but I also have a huge passion for technology and engineering and programming and software, hardware, underwear, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Awesome, and I think they're a great thing to marry together, especially now. We have so many awesome cheap technology things available to us now that used to cost millions of dollars to do research on, and now in your home lab you can build pretty much anything you want. Yeah, the leg is moving. He's I thought that was just dangling, but he's waking up in the warm air here inside. I found him out on the ground in the snow, and I was thinking it would be a good way to do the initial test for the microscope for our first live stream. But yeah, he's actually waking up. Kind of cool to see a honeybee wake up. I can't say I've ever seen that up close before. Yeah, I think that's the lowest power reticle I have, unfortunately, and without a regular camera here to film it, I can't do much for you. But you can see. He is waking up. Let's see if I can get you a shot of that wing moving. See if I can zoom in or out enough to... Yeah, I don't know. Microscope's a little tricky. It's really not designed for an object this large. It's really meant for much smaller stuff. But yeah, he's moving all right. He's moving around. See if I can adjust this lighting a little better. That's not better. I don't know if that's any better. Yeah, we also found some radar on a board, components available at better distance, but most are omnidirectional. Yeah. Laser's very, very useful tool. In fact, I think the geodometer, I know we usually used prisms. I forget, they they're like one directional prisms. They could take a 360 beam and focus it back into one point. So we use prisms and infrared, and then lasers to guide the tracking on the staff, and then infrared would take our shots. We'd shoot an infrared beam, and that would give us a distance, and then I think it was a stepper motor on board that would actually measure the angle precisely. But then I think we used laser actually to do the direct reflex, where we wouldn't have to take a staff out, say on a telephone pole that's too far away across a swamp to get to. We could turn to it and shoot it with the direct reflex, and I think that was a laser, but I'm not sure. It's been quite a while. Homesteading the hard way. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, we're getting there. In case you haven't caught up yet, you're looking at a honeybee under a 10x reticle on the microscope right now. And I was telling everybody else here, there's a camera, actual web camera on the way. Should be here Wednesday next week, and then I'll oh yeah, I've seen houseflies wake up like that before too. Oh, so annoying. There's a bunch of what you think are dead flies in the windowsill, and then you warm the house up. We used to have a place up in the Catskills. We go up in the fall to go hunting, and you warm the house up, and all of a sudden all the flies just start flying around. You thought you were rid of them, but they're back. Anyway, homesteading the hard way. That's a honeybee under the microscope. And like I was saying, there's a camera on the way, so you'll actually be able to see me live stream when that comes. Probably do a live stream Wednesday or Thursday next week with it. But yeah, how's life down in the Carolinas there, homesteading the hard way? What are you guys up to? When are you going to do that sweet potato video? I'm looking forward to your sweet potato starts video. So you say you're a retired tech. What if you don't mind me asking, Geeky Gardens, what type of technology specifically were you in, or could you, or would you rather not, or can't talk about it? I understand if you can't or don't want to. I'm just curious. Boy, he's really moving around. So I'm going to add another source here. I'm going to grab display capture here off of yeah, this display. So I'll throw the greenhouse live chart in here as well, so you guys can see that, so you have something more to look at besides the honeybee waking up. Hey, out of Goshen, welcome. How are you guys tonight? Glad you came in. You're currently looking at a honeybee who I thought was dead and the bees had taken him out, but apparently he is not dead, and he's warming up and waking up live on the microscope slide as we talk. Yeah, yeah, the mug of coffee. I got the mug of coffee going right now there, Miyu. And welcome. Glad you came in. Out of Goshen. You guys are in Michigan, I think, right? I think you're in Michigan. I have cousins out in Michigan near Detroit, and they actually used to have property up in the Upper Peninsula. I went out there one summer and spent a week in the Upper Peninsula. Man, it is flat out there. Beautiful, but flat. Let's see, did this other image come in yet? I don't know. Is my chat frozen or something? I feel like my chat's frozen. Or maybe guys tonight. Maybe my delay is just so far up. Why is that image quality garbage? Let's fix that. Yeah, okay. Oh, really? Fun to watch? Oh, good. Thanks. Yeah, I was telling other people on the channel here earlier. I've had this microscope for about 4 or 5 years. Been planning to pull it out and closely study microbiology and soil biology and entomology and all that sort of stuff, and look at plants closer and all. And I've been planning to do all kinds of cool projects along those lines, but just always so busy it kind of got lost in the mix. But I'm in the process of moving from one building to another and cleaning and organizing, finally getting my things together here. And I came across it again. I said, I got to pull that out and at least see if it works. And then that made me realize that I could actually use it for live streaming, which is a really awesome, powerful tool. I think we're going to have some excellent discussions and learning sessions using the microscope. As time goes on here and I get my poop together, so to speak, get my manure together. Business programming, 2 comm colleges, and finished off with web dev for local health department. Programmed everything IBM mainframes to Commodore 64. Nice, nice, Geeky Gardens. Wow, yeah, you've been around the block, so to speak. Yeah, I worked in IT in various facets as well. Never worked for any big companies. I actually had my own computer repair business for a while, and I did do some consulting for some of the local banks around here. Worked with the AS400 and all that sort of stuff. So have some background in that, but mostly smaller computer stuff. I did have my own dedicated server with LeaseWeb a while back for a forum based around the Farmacy Seeds network, but I couldn't afford to keep it up for now, so I just chose to do the YouTube channel for a while, and then I figure if YouTube ads or some other revenue can pay for it, I'll put the site back up, and then I can share more files and that kind of stuff. But a little bit at a time. We'll get back to it. But that's an awesome background. I'm really excited to know that, and maybe we can collaborate on some projects in the future if you're interested. I also have a part-time job working for a company called Professional Computer Solutions, and we do mostly web stuff, web pages and email blasts. Multiple thousand email blasts, that kind of stuff. But the guy that I work for is an engineer and an excellent programmer. He's the one who actually got me into the Raspberry Pi stuff, and man, a lot of fun, learning a lot with that, and what a powerful tool. So glad I have a background in it. Out of Goshen, yes, you are in Michigan. I thought so. Wilderness area of the Lower Peninsula, not flat, very hilly. Okay, I've never been to that part of Michigan, so that's awesome. Sounds nice. Sounds similar to New York, actually. Are you guys getting the same cold out there that we are here? Or are you guys out of your wicked cold spell? I know you guys got hammered a while back. Mary's Organic Garden Journal, hello and welcome. Thank you. Hello from New York. Ah, yeah, I know. I've never seen a honeybee up that close before either. I've certainly never watched him wake up before. I don't know if he's waking up or if he's just not quite dead all the way yet, because he seems to be pretty still now. Where in New York are you? I'm in Tivoli, New York, about 90 miles north of New York City. Chat is in slow mode. Oh, I can fix that. Stream options. I think that's under advanced. Yeah, I've been playing around with the live stream menu a little bit, so I would have some sort of a clue when I finally went live. Yeah, we'll disable slow mode. Here you go. That should fix that issue. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was restricting you. Slow mode is off. There you go. Right now you're looking at 10x out of Goshen. You're just under 10x. This scope will go up to 4000x. But to be honest, at 4000x, each of those little hairs you see, like on the antenna, you'd actually be able to see little hairs on that, and little hairs on that, and little hairs on that. Met my wife over IBM System 36, baby brother to the AS400. Oh, okay. That must have been before my time, but very cool. Yeah, actually the bank that I work for had like an old token ring network, and we had to work that to connect to the AS400, and they didn't want to buy network cards that would support TCP/IP, and what a nightmare, but we did get it working for them. But man, I couldn't believe how cheap bankers could be. Yeah, I'm curious where Mary's Organic Garden Journal is also. I keep finding more and more people on YouTube that are in New York, and I'm always like, oh, they're in New York too. I'll have to check out your channel, Mary's Organic Garden. Be curious to see what you're doing. Are you into herbs, or what's your kind of primary focus, I guess would be my question. Can everyone chat faster now? Is slow mode actually off? Yeah, today's the last night of the frigid temps finally. Okay, we got one more day, tomorrow into tomorrow night, and then we're supposed to go back to lower 40s daytime, 20s or upper teens at night, which will be a relief. Oh, camping in the Poconos. I've never been to the Poconos. I've been through the Poconos, but I've never been able to stop in the Poconos. They are beautiful mountains. I grew up, my family had actually farmland that was my great-great-grandfather's out in the Catskills in a little town called Delhi, New York, about 20 miles from Oneonta, New York. Beautiful area also, and we used to go camping up there, and we actually had a farmhouse and barn up there, and man, so much fun. Yeah, 4000X, if he if he farts, you'd blow him right off the scoops. This the width of the scope. Yeah. I bought this scope. I think it was about $500 about 4 or 5 years ago. I really wanted one that would really dial in. And actually, one of the things I want to add to it, I don't know if you guys are too familiar with microscope technology, but there's two different types of microscopes. There's light field microscopy, which is what we're looking at right now, and then there's dark field microscopy. And dark field microscopy is actually excellent, especially with a specific type of dark field microscopy called the somatoscope. And it basically uses a special filtered UV light, which I think I can build. And then you can actually take live blood samples and look at live blood samples, and actually you can actually watch blood morphology change based on the nutrient that's in the bloodstream. So if you add glucose, you'll see all the red blood cells kind of clot up and stop being active and separated. Really interesting. There's a YouTube channel.
I might be able to find the link here. Let me see if I can find a link, because it's really interesting to see a live blood sample. Yeah, Somatoscope Gaston something. Yeah, somatids in the blood. Here we go. I'll drop a link here in the chat. This is really interesting stuff. Okay, it is off. Okay, good. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to restrict you. I've just I've seen other people go live stream, and then all of a sudden the channel blows up into 10,000 chat comments, and then they can't keep up, and then they bring somebody else in to read the comments to keep up for them. But I don't have that option. Anyway, that link I just dropped in the chat is close up of microorganisms or somatids in the blood, and that's live human blood observed through a phase contrast microscope with 3600 times magnification. Very interesting stuff. You can see a whole lot more going on in blood under live blood samples under a somatoscope versus what typical blood samples are taken and dried and put on a slide, and then they just look at the dead, dried blood. And you can still tell quite a bit from that, but the somatoscope really shows a clear image of actually what's going on. And let me see if I can find the morphology video on that, where you can actually see when he adds glucose to the blood that it entirely changes the structure of the blood altogether. It's really pretty wild. Pleomorphism. Oh yeah, it's pleomorphism. Somatoscope. Pleomorphism. Somatoscopy pleomorphism, sure. Pleomorphism improves vaccines and antibiotic techniques of somatotry and somatoscopy. Pleomorphism in the human body, there it is. Yeah. Okay, I'll put this link in the live stream as well. Oh yeah, it really is amazing. It's really amazing. So I should mention how that relates to plants, because I came on to most of my human health related science stuff in part from biology classes and my own research, but really the thing that drove me in that direction was studying plant health and plant science and trying to better understand plant health. And I came across John Kemp from Advancing Eco-Agriculture and the Bionutrient Food Association out of Massachusetts. And those guys were doing some really interesting research. And actually, Advancing Eco-Agriculture is now using plant sap analysis, and they can actually predict when a crop is going to crash in advance, and then through foliar feeds they can correct that nutritional deficiency before the crop crashes and head off yield losses, diseases, insects, all that kind of stuff. So very powerful tool as far as keeping your plant health up. Currently, there's only one lab in the world that I know of, and that's in Amsterdam. And it costs about $65 to do a lab sample, and you have to send about a quart of plant material, half from older leaves and half from newer leaves, and they analyze both of those, and then they compare the two, and they can tell what the nutritional deficiency is in the new stuff, and they can see at what scale that's progressing, and then it can be corrected with foliar feeds. For those of you who aren't familiar with foliar feeds are an excellent way to address nutritional deficiencies, especially trace mineral deficiencies, trace mineral nutritional deficiencies, and a whole host of other problems with plants. You can pretty much eliminate disease and pests with plants if you get the balance of the plant's health and soil right. So that's kind of where I came on to the pleomorphism thing. Oh my, he's crawled right off the scope, and he's headed down he's headed down the tube. Hey buddy, where you going? Come back here. Hey mister. I gotta see if I can rescue him back from the the microscope abyss. Let me just bring this out. Uh-oh, well. Shoot. Now he fell down through. I lost him, Captain.
I don't know how I'm going to get that table off of there so I can get at him. I'm going to have to take the microscope apart to get the honeybee out of it. All right. I apologize for that. So we'll just transition up to this. Sorry, guys. Yes, it is tough without moderators out of Goshen. It is, but I'm still kind of developing. I really never actually planned to do live stream related stuff, but as time goes on here, I realize what a powerful tool and technology that is, and to see these live rather than just on paper, yeah, it's an amazing technology, isn't it? I watch a lot of Joe Rogan podcasts because he interviews some really cool guests, and I think he's a pretty good interviewer. And the more of those I watch, the more I've been thinking like, wow, I need to start up a podcast. I could do an awesome podcast. I know so many knowledgeable people, and just having discussions like that, man, you can learn so much. And then, yeah, to have the tools and technology like, digital microscopes and high-speed networking worldwide and that kind of stuff, it's just really amazing what we can do. I'm really impressed actually with just this little Raspberry Pi in the greenhouse does. I mean, this is a $35 computer board, and I'm tracking temperature and humidity and all sorts of data and controlling stuff, with very little overhead. This is stuff that even 10 years ago would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to do. And now today, for a $35 board and maybe another $150 in sensors and accessories, for $200 you're online tracking live, and of course it's available anywhere in the world if you want. Really cool. It's interesting. I've been looking into farm bot technology lately because I actually want to develop a whole set of robots for small organic farming related stuff, gardening, farming scale. They're doing a lot of that stuff on big scales like John Deere and stuff, GPS controlled tractors and automated harvesters and all that kind of stuff. But I really want to I lost him, Captain. He's gone. Bring out your dead. I'm not dead, really, I'm not. Yeah, he won't be too happy when he wakes up, but I'll have to take the slide tray apart on the scope and fish him out of there. He was out in the snow. The bees in whichever hive he was in took him out and tossed him for dead. So I don't think he has a whole lot of life left in him anyway. But it always makes me so sad to come out there and see like bees are throwing other bees out. But it's part of the cycle of life. Gotta clean out and make room for the new. So anyway, I was talking about robots. I basically want to build small-scale farm robots to basically help keep small-scale organic farmers and gardeners competitive labor-wise with the evolving technology that's going on the commercial scale of farming. It's an incredibly complex issue I think we have coming up here. In our society, and I think it's going to affect us on an economic level, and on a personal level, and on a lot of other levels. There was a great interview on Joe Rogan a couple of weeks ago, I think. A guy named Andrew Yang, who's actually running for president in the next election. He was talking about universal basic income, and I don't know how I feel about universal basic income, but it was an interesting discussion because he was talking about the technology industry and how everything is becoming robot automated, and this isn't a wholly new idea or concept, but he really drove it home about how fast that's evolving and how few actual normal jobs there will be left. I mean, they're taking over the food industry, they're taking over the trucking industry. It won't be long before they take over the airline industry. there aren't going to be a whole lot of jobs left for people to do. And so then the question is, what do people do for a living? How do you make a living if, say even 70% of your normal labor force jobs are taken up by robots automating it? And his proposal is universal basic income. I'm not sure that's the solution, but his point is valid about where the technology is going. Getting started in homesteading. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for joining us. We're just chit chatting away here. Welcome to the channel. Are you guys? Is anybody experiencing any buffering issues? I'm getting feedback here that YouTube is not getting enough bandwidth from me, and I'm probably going to be a little while before I get a high-speed bandwidth connection. I actually have a plan in place for that. We're out in the boondocks, sort of, and so we don't have cable or anything else here. The only thing we have accessible to us for high-speed, quote-unquote, internet is DSL, and well, you can imagine what the S stands for when I abbreviate it. Anyway, I'm also an amateur radio operator, and we have something called Mesh, which is basically a wireless high-speed network system. But we have yet to employ it locally. But once we get that hooked up, I actually should have 200 megabits per second up and down bidirectional. So that will help with my bandwidth issues. But I'm just wondering if everyone is streaming okay, or if I'm buffering, or what. I wonder if maybe I should switch to ultra low latency, because I'm just on low latency right now. Heading to dinner. Okay, out of Goshen, thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining us, and look forward to chatting with you more in the future. Thanks very much. Hope you guys have a good dinner. Have a good night. So does anybody have anything else they want to talk about or discuss? Any questions for me? Anything? Anyone? Bueller? Ferris Bueller? Uh-oh. My radio's on over here. Yeah, my radio's on. Somebody's chatting on the radio. Everything's sounding good there. Okay, good. Good. Glad to hear it. Thanks for joining. I probably will post this live stream back up, getting started on homesteading, and you can go back and take a look at the honeybee waking up on the microscope. Unfortunately, he bailed down into the slide tray of the scope, and I'm going to have to take the scope apart to dig him out. But yeah. Anyway, it's interesting to see him waking up. Signed up for a robotics class while doing master's. The professor had a heart attack and they canceled the class. Oh no! Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, robotics is something I've always wanted to play with. Well, not always. Back in the 80s, it wasn't interesting to me, but now as technology is evolving, it's very interesting to me. Partially because I like the challenge of developing new technology, and especially the challenge of integrating working technology and the coding to make it work, and overcoming those sort of obstacles. Momentary buffering earlier, very short, but nothing recently. Okay, good. I'll stick with the low latency for now and see if it holds. That's fantastic. I actually wasn't expecting very good results with the DSL, but it seems to be holding it. I think our up bandwidth is only like 0.75 megabits per second, something like that. It's like under a megabit per second. It's really sad. Yeah, I'd like to find a robotics class around here at Geeky Gardens, and just get kind of an introduction to some more complex stuff, and
for me, it's even more just exposure to all the different parts and pieces that are out there and a general idea of how they go together. I tend to learn really well on my own. I love to do my own research and that kind of stuff, but it's nice to have a little bit of an intro just to give you kind of a better background. I know there are, some of the guys in our amateur radio club were telling me that there are like maker get togethers around here. I hate the term maker, but I guess they get together and exchange ideas and technologies, and they actually, I think they rent a space once a month or something where everybody gets together and works on their projects, and there's all sorts of tools available and that kind of stuff. And I thought about that, but it's another time consumer thing, and I'm pretty short on time. Quite often between the farming and a couple of jobs, and then I'm always trying to get something cool up for the YouTube channel when I can. So I don't know if I can really dedicate more time to that right now, but maybe I should. Maybe it's worth it. That's a Murphy's Law thing, though, huh? Sign up for a robotics class, and the professor has a heart attack. That sucks. Oh, here, I'll drop this other link in here on the Somatoscope. He explains the Somatoscope a little more for those of you who are interested in that. And I guess, I don't know if the stream hasn't adjusted yet. Oh. Yeah, okay, it has. I tend to learn. So the chart that you're looking at is the greenhouse. Of course, I've probably worn that out with the last few videos I put up, but that's the greenhouse tracking chart live. The top chart is BTUs in storage in water in the thermal mass banks, and then the bottom chart is everything from average greenhouse to thermal mass temperatures to whatever. Okay, you got to go eat dinner. Getting started on homesteading. Very good. Well, enjoy your dinner, and thanks for checking in. Appreciate you supporting the channel, and look forward to catching you again next time. Hope you have a good evening. Thanks for checking it out. Well, Geeky Gardens, I'm really stoked about everything we've been talking about, and that you have similar interests as far as robotics and that kind of thing. Do you are you planning on doing any YouTube videos related to that? Make a group meets at the library every week. One of them soldered out a prototype together for us. But so far, I'm the only programmer in the group, so they may keep me busy. Yeah. There's a downside to being the only programmer in the group. My friend Aaron gets calls from me quite regularly. I'm not sure how to do this. How would you do that? Oh, that's easy. Just do this, this, and that. Like, oh, okay. Well, I'm programmatically stupid sometimes. I apologize. Yeah, it's that seems to be the trickier part of it, is integrating the programming to the hardware. I tend to just dog away at it and Google research until I figure out what I'm doing wrong.
I was trying to make a thumbnail for the SQL dashboards on the Raspberry Pi the other day, and I spent about an hour and a half screwing around with it, and I could not get it to work. And I was like, "What am I doing wrong?" And I went back and looked at the desktop file I created, and I realized I didn't include the full path, so it couldn't find the program. I felt so stupid. It's like, well, that would do it. What's your favorite programming language, Geeky Gardens? Yeah, he went right into the slide. And I apologize for long bits of radio silence. I'm just not quite used to live broadcast yet. Held off on video and the Blind Buddy because my friend wanted to market them. Okay, yeah, I understand that. I I'd held off on a few things because I thought about marketing them, and then I just thought, well, let's just build the YouTube channel up and try and figure something out that way. Marketing can be tricky. Then, of course, as soon as you create something and either patent it or even just start producing it, the Chinese knock it off pretty quick, and then it's hard to compete with them. So hard to keep it out of that market. But that is a really cool idea, especially for the bike, the sonar thing. I know they're doing some really interesting stuff with interfacing human mind directly to computer stuff. Yeah, okay. Been there, done that. Fair enough. I know they're starting to interface human mind directly to computer stuff. That's going to be interesting, and it'd be interesting to see if they can actually, basically connect to the optical nerve and pipe like HD camera vision to the optical nerve. If you could produce those same signals that the optical nerve is expecting, you might actually be able to take a blind person and make them see again. Should be interesting. My friend Aaron has a guy in his church that's completely blind, and he takes him to church every week with him. And I always try to catch him on the radio, and we talk to him. We're always asking him, questions about like what it's like to be blind, because none of us can really imagine that. Like, it's easy to close your eyes and say this is what it would like to be blind, but I think it's hard to really understand that concept in its entirety. So we're always asking him questions like, what is that really like? Interesting to hear his perspective. He doesn't seem to mind at all. I think for me it would drive me crazy. Old school. All programmers should start with assembler. That way we'd have the faint at heart. And the rest, how computers really work. Next would be C, C++. Yeah, I have no familiarity with C or C++. I took Basic A back when I was in high school or junior high years back. So I did some Basic A. I've done some Turing. I took that in high school. And I'm trying to think what other languages I've worked with. Primarily, recently, it's just been HTML-based stuff, which is, not all that complex. And Python is the one that I've really found interesting more recently, mostly just because it works really easily on the Pi. But PHP, I think, is actually my favorite, and I actually want to start switching all my stuff over to PHP. Oh, you taught C++? Yeah, that's a language I would or C and C++. Those are, I'd love to learn those languages. Just not enough time in a day, man. I wish I could just be up 24 hours a day learning. I don't think that would do my body too good long term. or go to sleep and let my mind learn while I sleep. That would be nice. An 8-hour college course while I'm out. Yeah, those. Yeah, my mind would be pretty easy to interface to. I'm always thinking in terms of computers. Uh, Everything I do, I'm talking computer language while I'm doing it. My friends think I'm nuts. Well, some of them. Some of them get it and think it's funny, but some of them think I'm nuts. So, have you played with a Raspberry Pi at all yet, or is it just still on your list of new new programming toys to play with? So let's see. So it's 7 o'clock. I wonder how far behind this buffer is. Mind learn while I sleep. That would be nice. Oh, it's a good 30 seconds. An 8-hour college course while I'm out. Yeah, my mind would be pretty easy to interface to. All right, so it's about 7 o'clock. I have to go back out and stoke the greenhouse furnace back up. And I got a few other things to do here, but I think I will try and dig up a couple of interesting things for the microscope. And if you're around later on, I will throw them back on. Short buffering again. Okay. Yeah, I know my housemate is watching some YouTube stuff too, so that may be drawing some of the bandwidth. But thanks very much for participating. Very interesting to find out about your background, Geeky Gardens. That is awesome. I'll look forward to having all sorts of talks about digital and programming and hardware, software. I'm really glad to make your YouTube acquaintance. And where are you at, by the way? Are you? I assume you're in the States. Actually, let me switch that latency quick too. Live streaming. Oh. I'm going to go to ultra low latency and see if that kills that buffering issue. Kill this, go to here. Ultra low latency. Oh, maybe I can't switch it midstream. I guess not. Still to-do list, mostly Arduino. Like the idea of a server in my pocket. Yeah, me too. one of the guys in our amateur radio clubs, one of the guys in our amateur radio club did a presentation last month on switching the Raspberry Pi over from booting off of the SD card to solid state hard drives. Said he got massive speed gains out of that, and I've wanted to switch it over to some sort of redundant hard drives. Probably stick a, I think they make a SATA 3 card, add-on card for it. The one I was looking at, I think, had 4 SATA ports on it, so I was thinking of putting two drives on it and running RAID 1, and then I'd have redundancy right on the Pi and a little bit of a speed boost out of the hard drives. So that's one of my upcoming projects, and yeah, I like the idea of the server in my pocket. I'm actually looking forward to the Raspberry Pi 4 or 5 or whatever. I like the processor and performance increases we've made from the 2 to the 3 to the 3B plus. I'm running the 3B plus in the greenhouse right now,